Sometimes love is not about fireworks in the sky, but about the quiet spark that flickers between two people when their eyes meet. That feeling is exactly what lingers in the new poster of TanSongyun and Liu Xueyi. At first glance, it may look like just a promotional photo. But if you pause, you realize it's not simply an image. It's a story written in light and shadow. The way TanSongyun's gaze lowers with subtle melancholy, while LiuXueyi's sharp features are softened by the misty glow, creates a tension that feels almost like a confession left unsaid. It is the kind of atmosphere that makes the audience wonder. Are they portraying characters or revealing something of themselves? This is where the magic lies. It's not about exaggerated poses or grand gestures. It's about the restrained closeness, the almost touch that carries more meaning than an embrace. For fans, it opens a door of curiosity and imagination, a promise that what's hidden might be even more compelling than what is shown. Stay with me, because as we dive deeper, we'll uncover why this simple poster has become the heartbeat of anticipation and why these two actors have captured so much attention. Part 2, The Language of Shadows and Light. When you look closely at the poster featuring TanSongyun and Liu Xueyi, you realize it is not merely a promotional tool, but an invitation to read between the lines of silence. The artistry lies in how light and shadow are woven together, almost like brushstrokes of an ancient painting. Liu Xueyi's profile catches the softened glow, his jawline emphasized with precision, a reminder of classic portraits where heroes were carved out of clarity. In contrast, TanSongyun's eyes, slightly lowered, hold a softness that suggests secrets untold, as though she is carrying a story that has yet to unfold. This delicate balance is not accidental. It mirrors the timeless tension of romance, closeness without full union, yearning without possession. Their faces, suspended in this space, echo the sensation of standing on the edge of something profound. It is the almost that fuels the imagination, the almost touch, the almost confession, the almost surrender. And that almost is what makes the image unforgettable. In today's entertainment landscape, posters often rely on exaggeration, bright colors, bold typography, and dramatic poses that scream for attention. Yet here, everything whispers. The haze that veils the background is not a distraction but a stage curtain, pulling focus to the emotions carved into their expressions. This is a form of elegance often missing in mainstream promotions, subtle, refined, and filled with poetry. Consider how TanSongyun's expression refuses to give away too much. She doesn't smile, nor does she frown. Instead, her look hovers in ambiguity, inviting the audience to lean closer, to ask questions. That restraint is what makes her captivating. She embodies the old adage that true beauty lies not in what is revealed, but in what is suggested. Her silence becomes a language, her stillness a storm beneath the surface. Liu Xueyi, on the other hand, carries a quiet strength in his gaze. His features are sharp, his posture steady, but there's an undercurrent of tenderness that contrasts beautifully with his appearance. He stands like a guardian of unsaid feelings, as if protecting a promise too delicate to speak aloud. The chemistry between him and TanSongyun is not loud, but magnetic. It does not demand attention. It earns it. This is where the brilliance of the poster lies. It transforms stillness into a narrative. The soft edges, the mist, the gentle illumination, they all become metaphors for a love story that is not defined by declarations, but by atmosphere. It feels like watching two stars that circle closer with each orbit, never colliding, but always destined to influence each other's path. The effect on the audience is profound. Instead of consuming an image passively, viewers are pulled into an experience. They don't just see the poster, they feel it. They imagine what lies beyond the frame, what words were exchanged before or after this captured moment. It becomes a canvas where the audience paints their own expectations and dreams. That is the secret power of subtle art. It allows the imagination to bloom. What's also worth noting is how this style positions TanSongyun and Liu Xueyi in the public eye. They are no longer simply performers embodying roles. They become symbols of an idealized romance. Their pairing suggests maturity and depth, far from fleeting infatuations. They stand as figures of both elegance and vulnerability, a combination that resonates strongly with viewers who crave sincerity in a world oversaturated with spectacle. The reception so far reflects this impact. Fans have not just shared the poster, they've written poems about it, edited clips inspired by it, and debated endlessly about the emotions behind those glances. It is rare for a single image to spark such widespread creative response, and that itself is evidence of how well the poster succeeds in capturing hearts. In the end, this is more than a matter of aesthetics. It is about trust between artist and audience. By choosing subtlety over spectacle, the production places confidence in viewers' ability to sense emotion without being spoon-fed. And that confidence makes the audience feel respected, valued, as participants rather than passive consumers. As we move forward, the question lingers: will this same subtlety carry into the on-screen story? If the poster is any indication, then the answer is promising. It suggests that the performances of TanSongyun and Liu Xueyi will not just rely on scripted lines, but on the invisible language of gestures, silences, and longing looks, the kind of acting that lingers long after the screen fades to black. Part 3: Chemistry Beyond the Frame. What makes the pairing of TanSongyun and Liu Xueyi so magnetic is not only their individual presence, but the invisible thread that ties them together. On their own, each actor radiates charisma, Tan with her delicate ability to turn subtle gestures into storms of feeling, Liu with his combination of sharp masculinity and hidden tenderness. Yet when placed side by side, something alchemical happens. The air itself seems to thicken with anticipation. Their chemistry is not loud or overly staged. Instead, it unfolds like the quiet blooming of a night flower, something you notice only if you're attentive, but once you see it, you cannot look away. Fans often describe their connection as electric, but perhaps a better metaphor would be magnetic, forces that pull and hold without needing words. Just a glance exchanged between them can communicate volumes, the way poetry can say more in a single line than prose in a page. What is especially striking is how balanced they are. In many pairings, one actor dominates the scene, overshadowing the other. But with Tan and Liu, the balance feels precise, as though each is both anchor and sail for the other. Tan's softness amplifies Liu's strength. Liu's quiet intensity deepens Tan's vulnerability. Together, they create an emotional harmony that resonates far beyond the still image of a poster. This harmony is not accidental. It stems from years of experience, from an understanding of performance that goes beyond delivering lines. Both actors have built reputations for embodying their roles with sincerity, and when those qualities meet, the result is trust. Trust in each other and trust in the audience. That trust allows them to explore nuances, to let silences linger, to lean into moments that many performers might rush past. And this is what makes fans so eager. The sense that what they are witnessing is more than acting, that perhaps the screen cannot contain all the feeling that passes between them. It's not just about characters or costumes, it's about two human beings stepping into a shared rhythm. The poster captures this rhythm like a freeze frame of a heartbeat, suspended, yet undeniably alive. What happens beyond the frame, of course, is the true mystery. Do they carry this energy into the story? Can this atmosphere be sustained across hours of performance? These are the questions fans ask, and these are the questions that fuel endless discussions online. Yet the very fact that such curiosity exists is already a triumph. After all, in entertainment, anticipation is often more powerful than revelation. In TanSongyun and Liu Xueyi, we see a pairing that reminds us why we fall in love with stories in the first place. Not because of grand declarations, but because of the possibility of connection, the subtle, fragile, breathtaking possibility that two people might find in each other what they never expected. Part 4. The Power of Anticipation. Every great love story, whether on stage, in literature, or on screen, thrives not only on what is shown, but also on what is withheld. With TanSongyun and Liu Xueyi, the magic lies in how much is left unsaid, how much is entrusted to the audience's imagination. Their poster is not a conclusion, but an opening chapter, a deliberate spark meant to ignite curiosity. What stands out most is how the atmosphere of the image cultivates expectation. The soft haze, the gentle light, the almost touch between them. All of these elements act like carefully planted seeds. Viewers water those seeds with their own hopes and interpretations, and suddenly, a single poster grows into countless imagined stories. That is the genius of subtle artistry. It transforms passive viewers into active dreamers. This power of anticipation is not confined to the frame. It bleeds into conversation, into online debates, into the way fans write messages filled with longing for what is to come. Each detail, from the angle of TanSongyun's gaze to the line of Liu Xueyi's jaw, becomes a clue in a larger puzzle. It is as if the audience has been given a treasure map where the X has yet to be marked. The journey itself is the thrill. In this sense, their image operates like a mirror. Each person who looks into it sees something of themselves, their own memories of love, their own longing, their own unspoken emotions. And when actors can serve as vessels for such universal feelings, they transcend their craft. They stop being simply performers and become symbols, shared reference points for what it means to yearn, to hope, to wait. Of course, the promise carries weight. When you set the bar so high in a single image, the audience naturally demands more depth, more authenticity, more sincerity. Yet, if there are two actors capable of carrying such expectation, it is TanSongyun and Liu Xueyi. Their track records show consistency, but more importantly, their artistry shows courage. The courage to trust in quiet moments, to let silence carry meaning, and to believe that less can indeed be more. So, as anticipation builds, the poster stands as both a promise and a challenge. A promise that the story between them will be worth following. A challenge that what lies ahead must rise, to meet the emotions already stirred. In that tension lies the beauty of entertainment. It is not only about the final act, but about the waiting, the guessing, the savoring of each step along the way. And perhaps that is why this pairing feels so special. They remind us that romance is not simply about declarations of love. It is about the moments that hover just before, when hearts beat faster in silence, and the world seems to hold its breath.